Okay, here we are. It's Tuesday. Another week begins, and it's never a dull moment around here. I am reporting from Nanaimo, British Columbia, Canada. They call it the Hub City, west coast of Canada. And from Victoria, the capital of British Columbia, Canada, is our very own Blake McKenzie. I'm so proud, privileged, happy, thrilled to have Blake with us. Got a lot,
Thank you.
lots to get into. I'm not going to give you a break at all, Blake. I want to start. No breaks for Blake. Look at me, I'm a little rapper. I want to start off with our show with a bang. I want to, oh my gosh, we got a story right away. Okay, here we go. I don't even know what to make of this one. Let's go. Let's make it a little bit bigger so the children at home can see what's going on. Here we go. Okay, and full volume. Here we go. Let's.
Hey, let go! Somebody! Get! Oh! You alright? I think so. Oh! Hey, let go! Somebody! Get! Oh! You alright? I think so.
All right. If you're going to listen, this is a public service announcement, PSA. If you're going to identify as a puppy, be very careful. Sometimes puppies, the leg humping. She's lucky she got off with that. That dog could have plunged her, and that would have been just, doggies like to do that. So anyway, thank God the bitch is okay. Just veterinarially speaking. But holy smokes, quite the story there, Blake. So
Yep.
thought we'd start things rolling off on a light note.
Well, especially she's going to have to learn quickly that the dog world has a patriarchy.
Yeah, that's right. Her response was wrong. She should have rolled over on her back to show proper submission to the alpha dog.
That's right.
Holy smokes. It's not easy out there. All right. The biggest story right now. Oh my God, we got this guy. Okay, so we had we've shown off and on the program here, the UK, where the cops show up at somebody in the UK's door, and because they've said something online. We had something like this happen in Canada. It's coming to Canada now. Which we knew it would be, and it's only going to get worse. We've got a number of bills that are floating around in Parliament right now that look like they're going to become a reality, and it's going to mean more control, social control over the population. Don't speak evil of the government, because we're going to come and bust you. But this is a great post here, some analysis on the situation. And I want to go here, and I want to make this bigger so everybody can enjoy it. Back in the old days, I used to work for the RCMP as an intel contractor. Part of my work involved threats to the Prime Minister and federal judges. We got frequent referrals from the PMO, Prime Minister's office, demanding actions on threats to the Prime Minister. Most of them were nonsense. We simply filed them. Some threats were followed up if there is an indication of an actual threat. For instance, simply saying the PM is a scumbag is not a threat. There's no indication of a threat. You just call him a scumbag. And I wish somebody would shoot him is not a threat. There is no indication of threat. You're just going, I wish somebody would take the guy out. It's not going to be me. I just wish somebody would, that kind of thing. However, saying the PM is a scumbag, and I wish somebody would shoot his kids who attend XYZ school, located at blah, 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 is indicative of a potential threat. Yeah, I agree. The difference and the real trick here is to assess when someone is simply angry, which is normal and permissible. Oh, thank God. For now, it is anyway.
Yeah.
And when someone is contemplating collecting information, acting out on their anger, which this person, you'll see the clip, we'll play it, which might possibly indicate a threat. The big failure in this video is that the police did not and could not demonstrate if the woman had made an actual threat, simply beyond stating the fact she thinks the Prime Minister of Canada is what we call in Canada a scumbag. There is something known as the threat curve. If the complaints about the Prime Minister is simply that he's a scumbag, a liar, or whatever, the threat curve remains flat. If there are signs that the complainants are collecting intel and info on the prime minister or his family and contemplating real action, then the flat line starts to curve upwards. Then the curve reflects a sharp upwards trend. It's time for action based on an actual case of obviously your federal official, how they handle it. Here's the clip of question breaking the mean police of Canada. New video shows Toronto police door knocking to talk to presumably leftist lady on her online post. Why is he saying she's leftist? Well, we'll get to the bottom of it. Let's get the volume and we'll hear the report. Now, folks, if you are Jewish, we warn you, there's some sensitive talk here.
Some online posts to the Prime Minister of Canada. Anything to say about that?
Can you be more specific? What post? What I specifically said? Do you have a screenshot?
Yeah, you specifically said, and you made it online.
Well, because I mean, he's a Zionist scumbag, and he's not my prime minister. So,
okay.
But really, you're going to come to my door, and you're worried that I'm going to do something? Do I seriously look like a threat to you?
So that's why we came to talk, right? So those threats are made.
You know what? You guys should be busy taking care of actual real crime than standing here harassing me over fucking shit I say online.
I understand, but
okay, yeah, no. Don't be wasting tax dollars doing this bullshit.
Nicole, if such behavior continues, if there is...
What are you going to do? Put me in jail because I don't like our prime minister?
No, but if you made some threats that are concerning...
What kind of threats did I make? You still haven't shown me what I said.
You're talking over me, man. I'm trying to explain to you what the threats
Show me what I said.
So if those threats are continuing...
Show me what I said.
Right? You could be arrested and charged. Just want to let you know.
Communist Canada. How do you like working for that? Are you proud of yourself? Do you go back home and look at your family in the mirror and say, this is what you do for a living? You harass people for what they say online because I don't like our stupid prime minister and he's a Zionist scumbag?
You can have your opinion. You cannot,
whatever.
So
I don't have to discuss anymore with this.
So listen,
excuse me, don't touch my door.
That's what I'm letting you know.
Okay, so this goes nowhere. She kicks him out. So, okay, so I want to share this tab instead. Update. I found the poster and the original video on Instagram. I've attached screenshots, including a comment she made, which appears to outline what she posted. If true, there is still nothing she has done that could be considered illegal. Again, you may not agree with what she said, but she's lawfully permitted to her own opinions and to post them publicly wherever she chooses. So here's the thing. They never ended up showing me probably my comments about rounding the government up and publicly hanging them for treason against Canada and Canadians. So she said, we should round up the government, and hang them publicly for treason against Canadians. So, I mean, that's what she said, right? I guess this is what her explaining it. So that looks like what was at the center of it. All right, and then we'll move on after. We'll go to Canada's new poster child for all this sort of thing. But good morning and afternoon, and wherever you may be in the world. Novice Nick joins us all the way from Louisiana, and Rachel, Sue, and Blake. Big greetings from James Farley, our good friend James Farley. Controversial, but much love. Okay, Blake, your thoughts on the woman, what she said, the cops at the door, the whole scenario. Now, obviously, she's a lit firecracker and she's angry. And ladies and gentlemen, my advice when they come to your door, and they will, there's no way in the world I'm going to be, I just, because I know what it is. You know what it is. So you go, hi. Okay, well, thank you for your little warning of message. Thank you, friend. Thank you. My dad was our CMP. And are you a newcomer? I couldn't help but notice you seem to have an ethnic flavoring, both of you kind gentlemen. Are you new to Canada? Me, I'm friend. Me, I'm Rachel. Me, I'm trans woman of color, minority like you. Okay, anyway, beautiful, a beautiful thing. Blake, thoughts on where Canada is, Bill C9, whatever you want to do, and the cops coming to visit the people at the door.
Well, number one, Bill C9 has not passed law yet, but it is now in the position that it can be because it went through committee. The Bloc and the Liberals basically shut down the committee and passed it to go through to the next stage, which is to be voted on, which essentially is Canada's new hate laws, which broadly determine language in a way that literally could be interpreted the way the government wants to interpret it, which means that they don't like what you're saying, they can go after you and call you a hater. And so this is the kind of stuff that it's been happening in the UK now for a couple of years under Starmer, and increasing with intensity. And it's just basically cookie cutter and being brought to Canada. So I expect this is going to be something we're going to see more and more common. It may not roll out to its full effect, and I'm going to say this, but the United States midterms is going to have an impact on how that rolls out and how hard that rolls out.
Yeah.
And because right now, there's too many forces that love Canada in the United States within the Trump administration, I don't think would tolerate a Starmer-like activity going on their border. We already see Cuba is going to be liberated. It's happening.
Yeah,
we'll
get to Cuba.
We'll get to that. But my point is that, Mexico is already starting to negotiate their own agreement without Canada, with the United States. So Canada is in a real terrible situation in the broader sense. And this free speech crackdown is literally the sign of everything that they call you in their projection psyop, because it is a projection psyop, that you're the problem and they're not. They're the fascists, but they're calling you fascist. They're saying you're the hater when they're actually the haters. So the funny thing is, in this situation, you got to be very, very careful what you say, but be very clear in your position when you're in opposition to the government. You don't say things that sound like you're threatening somebody's life. You just don't do that. Okay. But if you're calling out somebody for treason, well, we know our side has been hammered now. They're calling us Maple MAGA. I call them Maple Maoists because they're on the other side. But they call Maple MAGA people treasonous, and all the lefties and liberals and elbows up boomers that supported them are wanting us all to be rounded up and charged with treason.
Yeah, we've got the complicit brigade, don't we?
Ways, and that's the problem. This is how it works. This is how fascism works. You silence your critics. You threaten them with jail. You threaten them into
well, you kill them.
And then, well, that's the final solution, right? You get to the point where you can cut them off, but they have found a more humane way to dispose of people out of society. And that's literally, they make it impossible if you buy, sell, or trade in it. That's the angle. Shut you down from your banks, shut you down from access to a job, shut you down from being able to buy food or communicate. This is how far this laws are coming along, is that they can isolate you from society, which is the Chinese model, right? We've talked about Chinese social credit.
You make a persona non grata.
So this is what they'll do. So yeah, they'll bang on your door. Part of it is intimidation. So especially if this is how they work. They're like the Nazis or the Stasi from the old Eastern Bloc, East Germany, banging on your door, threaten you at first, try and intimidate you into compliance. If that doesn't work, then it's a few beatings in the police cells and stuff like that. And then, if you're still not going to be compliant, then in the terms of the movie or the TV show Yellowstone, you go for a trip to the train station.
Blake, obviously, as a trans woman of color, my fear is that they'll just rape me repeatedly.
Oh.
Okay, that could be.
You don't want that.
That would be hurtful for girls.
Yes.
Trans women. All right.
But it's interesting that the first person they go after is a woman, right?
Oh,
I mean, they didn't go after your classic identifiable group, which is a white male that's, of course, against everything the DEI crowd in Ottawa want to go after and destroy.
Hold on. I got another clip for us here. Okay. And of course, the other thing that's going on in Canada is we got the MAIDS, medically assisted induced death. The numbers are off the charts. They're really rolling on that. We got a clip. That relates to that. Let's go share this. Here we go. This is about maids. Oh, hold on. I may have made a mistake. It's Okay, I confuse the medically induced because of the. I know there's the in needles of Canada spending 1 million per year on booty bumping kits. So meth addicts can squirt meth up their ass for free. What? Booty meth shooting kits? What the hell, Canada? What is next? Well, let's get to the story on this because I'm shocked and stunned as usual. So I guess we'll go full screen. Here we go, Blake. Are you ready sitting down?
I'm ready.
Right, here we go.
Parkdale Queens
Breaking
West
news.
Community Health Center over $1 million through the Substance Use and Addictions Program to fund their services. The center's own website lists, and I quote, harm reduction kits for booty bumping as one of their funded services. What does Health Canada understand booty bumping to involve?
So
We're actually
Health
asking
Canada
questions
does
like that
fund
in
harm
our
reduction,
committees.
treatment, and prevention under the Substance Use and Addictions Program. There are different eligible expenses under the contribution agreements. We do fund some sites, and that is not their entire source of funding. And so
I was asking in particular, Ms. Weber, about booty bumping.
I'm not familiar with the.
Okay, so she doesn't know what booty bumping is, but he informs her where you shoot the meth up your
Folks,
ass.
don't go Google search the term because then you'll get pegged in the algorithm. Get ads.
You're going to get a whole lot of, hey, you're at home booty bumping it. You can tell it. Well, let's bump it down. All right, that is just nonsense. So, okay, let's see. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Okay, so we got the Bill C9. So we got the maids going. It just gets worse. We're Nancy, I love you. I'm so glad to see you there. And Nancy, I love you. Hi. Okay, here we go. You've already missed some good stuff. We're starting off. We got a show. Holy smokes. Here we go. This is another good one. This is called the Elbows Up Boomer. Has been hard to police misinformation and online safety in Canada. So the cops and the government are all worried. So they've hired a guy to do it at the Ministry of Truth. This is the last face you'll see before you hit the slammer. Let's take a look at him. There he is. Holy smokes. Talk about a poster child. This guy wanted people run up, locked up, and put in jail and, sanctioned, put in camps if you didn't get vaccinated back during the COVID thing that happened. So this moron, elbows up. What a piece of, oh my God. It's gonna so
is he like a gay Colonel Sanders?
I don't know. He's just a little character. He's got a name apparently, and I'll go to the next bit on him. Okay, here's another shot of him, and we'll share this tab instead. Okay, this is from GDFN Shirts. They do great memes and shirts and stuff. Carney picks a far left elbows up Antifa boomer tard to decide if you deserve to go to jail for your meme. RCB Intelligence described Bernie Farber as an inflammatory, politically motivated operative who makes inflammatory comments about political candidates to the right of Liberal Party. Full story in the comments. There he is. So the RCMP actually flagged this guy as an inflammatory, politically motivated operative. And this is the guy the current government, the Carney government, has picked to become the thought police oversight agent for you and me, Blake, and the rest of Canada. Absolute, unmitigated, frickin' disaster. Your thoughts on Bernie Farber, agent at large? Blake, your thoughts? Careful with the thoughts, Barney. Could be showing up at your door.
Mr. Farber is a very kind gentleman.
Yes, he is. We all aspire to be more like Bernard.
Was it Farber College from Animal House? The movie?
I believe you're referencing Animal Farm.
No.
You seniors know what I mean. Holy smoke.
But the movie Animal House in the late 70s.
Yeah.
Their college. Was
the
it
fish.
Farber College? That
He was the fish. Wasn't it? They have a guy who they called him the Flober. Flag,
or it was
Lumber.
Faber College or something. But
Yeah,
anyway,
Faber is Faber. Yeah,
so,
Faber.
so they're going to have Farmer College for all the rats and Karens that need a job, ratting out their entire
So
nation.
they get this guy on their board to oversight, thought, police, speech, what what we're posting online. The guy's wearing an elbows up shirt, which is complete, absolute pandering. That's the government's propaganda designed to get
Yeah.
you, me, and anybody else in line, which failed miserably on you and me, of course.
Well, yeah, he'll probably, he's gets mad on X and he blames, all these people who disagree with him. So he'll flag them all for harassment and visits by the RCMP. So he'll love his power. This is the typical response that these kind of governments do. They number one, it doesn't change the cronyism that the Liberal Party is. It's just the worst crony government next to your crony government here in British Columbia. Where it's friends and insiders get all the key jobs and overpaid. But yeah, to pick a guy that's clearly biased, but we shouldn't even be going there in the first place. This shouldn't even exist.
Yeah, correct.
And that's the problem. They're already moving ahead like Bill C-9 has passed law. It hasn't passed law yet. If you're going to hire your, I guess they've tagged him on the shoulders. The guy who's going to head it up is the czar of truth, I guess you could call him. It's just nothing surprises me anymore. There's nothing. I guess I've become so desensitized in Canada that there is nothing that surprises me that they could do that's bad. They're just all bad. And everything they do is bad.
Yeah,
and everything we understood is good and decent and honorable in our lives historically. But in the last 10, 11, 12 years, well, I'd say in the last 11 years, this government has turned upside down everything decent about our country and has turned it into that post-national state that they, with no core identity. And this is the problem. And now they're wanting to go after the people that are angry about that. And now some of them are looking for other options, like joining the United States or becoming our own country, or, if you're saying we have no core identity, route, but prepare for very vocal backlash. But their answer is the Keir Starmer answer, which is part of that alignment. This is that crown alignment that we're seeing in Australia, we're seeing in Canada, we're seeing in New Zealand, we've seen in the United Kingdom, and it's those specific countries that are taking orders from King Charles.
The white people countries.
Yeah, well, specifically the English crown-backed, historically governed by under the monarchy, and I think this is the monarchy's last gasp for power and control. I think it's all tied to the London financiers who are really trying to hold the old world order together and using us as the cannon fodder like they've always done. The benefit Canada has is we're on the U.S. border. So that if they start pushing with this fascist crap on the people like they're doing, Keir Starmer's doing in the U.K., well, you know what? The U.K. has nukes. So the U.S. might be a little bit less likely to do something physical there. But Canada, we're weak. We have very little capabilities to protect ourselves. And if you start messing around and want to be a full-on fascist government, well, we know we've got a government in the United States.
Well,
so they know to that real fast.
Yeah, Trump will just helicopter in and pull out whoever's running the show here and take them away.
Yeah,
that'll be the end of that.
Well, yeah, we'll get the RCMP banging on the door. He's gonna have like Navy SEALs banging on his.
Exactly. I mean, Canada's on a very short tether. There's no way the current administration is going to allow a communist Chinese-controlled satellite nation to set up front right on its doorstep. There's no bloody way. And we already know Trump is flexing big time. Venezuela, Cuba, Greenland, Canada, the hemispheric, the Monroe Doctrine,
Iran.
the Monroe Doctrine, cleaning up Iran, taking away their gun. Basically, by taking out Iran, Trump's taking their gun away. So I love Trumpy Bear. Good things are happening. and more information is coming out. As you said, the midterms are going to be really important. The SAVE Act is under a lot of heat right now. That's a big one. We've got to get the SAVE Act, or as the president calls it, Save America Act. So we want our American representatives that are in Congress and the Senate to all get in. In fact, I think it passed already in Congress. It needs to pass in the Senate, and that's where the pressure's on. The heat's on right now.
Well,
I think
which is a
Lisa
no-brainer.
Murkowski-
I mean, if you're a politician, think about it. You have the highest percentage on all parties across the board, all races across the board, have all super majorities in favor of it.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer. It's like rubber stamp. Yeah.
But because there's corruption and because people are paid off, they don't want to do it. So let's talk about that corruption. I got a great link here on corruption and hope for us, because things are coming out. Things are being revealed. Drip, 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 and then the flood of information. Everything, I believe, is timed. This is Q speak. Again, I do my Q talk, but that's what it is. Everything's timed. There is a plan. So sorry, Marjorie Taylor Greene, you're wrong. There is, in fact, a plan. Here we go. The latest share, boom. This is beauty. Holy shite, goes MJ Truth Ultra. He's a Q guy. John Solomon says they got in their hands on intercepted intelligence that shows Ukrainian officials are trying to help Joe Biden win the 24 election using American taxpayer dollars to do it. Crime, crime, crime. Against the law, against the law, against the law. Trump has had it for months now, he says, waiting for the right time. Let's hear what John himself has to say. Let's go, Big John. Make sure the volume's up. Here we go. John Solomon, ladies and gentlemen. John Solomon is also mentioned in the Q drops, by the way, in a positive way. Here we go.
There are scores of raw intelligence reports that show Chinese meddling in the American election. And there's one report raising concern that Ukraine was engaged in a plot to do something bad in the 2024 election to help Joe Biden. I want to repeat that. There is intercepted intelligence that the Trump administration has had for many, many months, in which it is suggested by Ukrainian officials that they're going to try to help Joe Biden win the election using American taxpayer money. There are scores.
All right,
of raw
there's
intelligence
the
reports
the headline. So there's information coming out now that the Ukraine, all the billions that have been going there, and of course we know it's a money laundering shithole. That's all. Everybody knows that. So and kickbacks and money coming to Canada. We've put billions of dollars in there, not millions. Canada's actually put billions of dollars into the Ukraine. Absolutely unbelievable. But so my thought, Blake, is the truth is coming out about all this stuff. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it stays on message that we've been saying all along, that this drip campaign is building up to a bigger point, and that will be in lead up to the election, the midterm elections. I think it's setting the stage for 2028 for who's going to be president, to take it on, because as I said, it's not a one-term, one and done to get all this stuff done. It's going to take years to clean up the mess, years to get rid of the bad people that have entrenched themselves into this system. And to the story that, does this surprise me that the Ukrainians were involved? No, because we know that the globalists have been using, every different country in the world that they have control of to have assets there to interfere in elections, be it through internet, through trolling. They've got banks of people running historically on Twitter, and there's still a few out there on Twitter, or X, but formerly Twitter. Twitter was a basket case full of what they called puppet accounts. So one of these people would run hundreds of fake accounts on Twitter, and they would look like mob attacks and to drive fake responses and the algorithm make it look like somebody's position was incorrect, right?
Yeah.
So that the society would say, yeah, that person's a flake, when actually
That's why
it was the other way around.
Elon Musk getting control X was so critical, very important.
Well, and it cleaned up that, and it's still a problem. We see it in Facebook. Like Meta is still a disaster with many, many fake profiles. Again, run offshore in these in countries that really nobody cares, right? They could be in India, could be Indonesia, could be Pakistan. I mean, I see it all. They got content farms there. But yeah, the Ukraine, part of that is all that money moves into the Ukraine, and there's been billions that has gone in there unaccounted for, but goes into these operations that they run out of there, misinformation campaigns. That's all you could describe them for what they are, which try to trick people into voting, which may be also, we may find more information down the road as how this is connected to the tabulating servers and stuff like that, which sit offshore where the hackers go in and are given the keys to go in.
That. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
So
talked
all
about
of this is
Maduro coming under control of the U.S. And now we're getting Tulsi Gabbard having a little sit down, have a little tete-a-tete. Maybe she's going to learn a couple of things. Department Director of National Intel. Now, it came out last week. Also, get this. Tim Walz and the Minnesota Democrats laundered a lot of federal money in the DNC. You wonder why Tim Walz got picked to be VP for Kamala? Maybe it's where all the money is. Follow the money. You go into Minnesota, a lot of money. Hey, DNC, we're going to funnel in a bunch of money to you, but here's the catch. You got to make me. I want to be VP. Put me up bigger on the world stage. And so that's all being investigated. That's all going to come out. Very interesting stuff. Now, further developments, Blake. We look in on what's happening with Iran. Things are going extremely well. Don't listen to the New York Times. Don't listen to Wall Street Journal. All the legacy media is bullshit. They're
AI videos all over the place right now.
The frickin' Iranians with their AI videos. We just killed like 3 more of their guys last night. Like, these are top tier. They're being decimated left, right, and center. We got a couple more notes about that, but I thought I'd share this next clip. Got to start it from the beginning. And this is always a point of contention, is the role of NATO. NATO has been a bad guy. Are we the baddies? We constantly talk about that, Blake. Are we the baddies? Or are our governments, in fact, the bad guys? Not America. That's Trumpy Barry, good guy. But Canada, New Zealand, Australia, like Blake was pointing out, England, they're the bad guys. So check this out. And I want to see if you agree with the analysis here. Gunther Eagleman, basically he says America's so-called allies just fell right into President Trump's trap, exposed as total freeloaders. Time to leave and defund NATO. That's the punchline, Blake. Time to leave and defund NATO. Let's do the thing
have some
like
good
we
thoughts
do.
on this one. I think I know what's going on.
All right. I love it. Let's roll the clip, and then we'll get some ideas from you. In fact, I got a statement from the president to play right after this. Here we go.
Okay.
So far, Germany, Italy, and Japan have said they will not send ships to the region. Guys, back to you.
Very interesting. Thanks, Steve. Yeah, just to follow up on that, it's pretty amazing that Germany goes, no, I'm not going to do anything. UK says, no, I'm not going to help. France says, I got some in the area. We'll see what I can do. Japan says no. And I think this, we're going to be fine. It's going to be just a couple more weeks that maybe there's more shooting going on. But in the big picture, this backs up what the president's been saying about our allies in times of crisis. Are they going to be there?
Well, especially when the president yesterday said we only get 1% of our oil through the Strait of Hormuz. Japan, who's saying they're not going to help and not going to send ships, gets 95%. China, 90%. South Korea, 35%.
Well, they fell for the trap because, as the president said during that press conference yesterday, it's almost a test. He goes, do we really need them? No. He goes, but I kind of want to see what they're going to say to us. Are they going to be there? And they're kind of proving his theory, what he said all along.
Yeah, Germany.
All right, I love that. And then, yeah, here's another one. Let's do this, share this tab, and then we're going to go to you. And I got one more after that. I got one more. Okay, are you seeing this one, MJ Truth Ultra, Blake?
Yep.
This is going to be very interesting. President Trump said he's thinking about leaving NATO, and he doesn't need congressional approval to do it. What's interesting is that within the 2023 National Defense Authorization Act, passed by Congress, signed into law by then President Biden, it expressly forbids the U.S. president from unilaterally leaving NATO. They tried to put a safety mechanism in to stop the president from unilaterally leaving. Null and void, I'm thinking, do it, Q plus, and there's the Q. Q plus is always referencing the president, and the president talks a bit about it there. But rather than that, I'll just switch over here and share this one instead. Trump is close to pulling out of NATO. We no longer need or desire NATO countries' assistance. We never did. Do it, Q plus. Again, the reminder. And here's the president. The U.S. has been informed by most of our allies that they don't want to get involved. This, despite the fact almost every country strongly agrees with what we're doing, and that Iran cannot in any way, shape, or form be allowed to have a nuclear weapon. I'm not surprised by their action, however, because I always consider NATO, where we spend hundreds of billions of dollars per year protecting these same countries, to be a one-way street. We will protect them, but they'll do nothing for us, in particular in a time of need. Fortunately, we've decimated Iran's military. Their navy's gone. Their air force gone. Their anti-aircraft radar is gone. And perhaps most importantly, their leaders at virtually every level are gone, never to threaten us, our Middle Eastern allies, or the world again. Because of the fact that we had such military success, we no longer need or desire the NATO countries' assistance. We never did. Likewise, Japan, Australia, South Korea. In fact, speaking as President of the United States of America, by far the most powerful country anywhere in the world, we do not need the help of anyone. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Donald John Trump. All right, there it is. Thanks for your patience with all that. Blake, I'm really curious what your thoughts are on, those three reports that we put there. Thoughts?
Well, I think in the very broader picture here, he's gone right at the heart of the control mechanism of the old world order, who's fighting to maintain the world order in their eyes. The Strait of Hormuz, 1/5 of the world's oil comes through there. Iran was a puppet regime planted by that European UK world order to maintain the control financially through those parts. Trump is dismantling that. This is the real war. Iran is not the war. Iran is a proxy nation being managed by these people. And we need to look at it from the geopolitical perspective. And quite frankly, China and Russia are sitting on the sidelines in a lot of ways. I'm sure there's some kind of support they're doing in there China, I think it's about Iran's number 7 in the list down the list of where they get their oil. So it's not a top tier oil production place that they get a huge chunk or a huge percentage of their oil. So that's not affecting China. In fact, that China can augment that from other regions when the shortages. So China is not really worried about that as much as I think what they're kind of sitting on the sidelines watching this come out, especially Russia, because Russia's been at the boot of these guys for a long time. We're talking hundreds of years here. People seem to forget this system didn't happen overnight. This was multi-centuries of development of this world financial order being run out of London, being run out of the Netherlands. We can go back to Napoleon at Waterloo and how, basically the entire stock market was shocked and monopolized by one family by spreading false information that, Napoleon had won. And defeated the Brits at Waterloo, which it wasn't the case, but it was enough to cause mass panic, and they were able to basically corner the market, as the saying goes, and monopolize all the profits from that, which essentially established this new financial order in London in private hands. So, but what we're seeing today is we're still seeing that old order that thinks in their minds, the rest of the world has been managed by them. And this is still that colonial mindset Europeans have on all of us, the African nations, the North and South America, that, they were managed by the Spanish, the Portuguese, the French, the Italians, the Germans, the UK. Of course, the UK, Britain had 2/3 of the world under their control, just because they were a superpower with control of the seas, essentially. So this is kind of where this is all headed. This is what this is all about. There is a new change. There is a new world order, as Carney stated, and that new world order is a multipolar world where you've got China has their own thing going, Russia wants their own thing going, the United States wants their own thing, and desperately these European interests are trying to hold it together because they're a net consumer of resources around the world. They went out to draw resources to them. And this changes the game. This is oil was being controlled. Like when they talk about Lloyd's of London has been ensuring the shipping through the Strait of Hormuz forever. Right?
Yeah, I think like 300, 400 years. Something
yeah.
Like that.
So this is being busted. This is being broken. This is what's really going on. What's happening in the Ukraine is also tied to all this. And I think this is all happening.
Is Trump going to dump NATO? Do you think America's
well,
going to leave NATO?
I think that comment says they just walked right into the trap. He just exposed them for who they really are, that they use everybody, abuse everybody. They're running these psyops all around
America
the world.
Doesn't need them. Then to what you're telling me, man, is America don't need them at all.
No, but America will set up their agreement. They'll sit down with Xi and China and say, it's just you and I. Screw the rest of them. Right. And
I want America to formally leave because they're like Trump says, they're putting billions of dollars into sustaining NATO. And NATO gives America nothing in return. You got to be stupid to be a part of that deal.
Let's put it this way. They've manipulated markets out of this old world order. They've cheated. They've created crony capitalism. They haven't created true free market capitalism. Trump loves free market capitalism. Freedom, which means you or I or anyone can participate. The rules are the same for all.
You could be a pauper and rise up and become a millionaire. The American dream.
The American dream. And he wants it for America, and he wants it for the rest of the world, because once you're that level of control of your life, you're less likely to be violent. You're more likely to be peaceful. You're going to be happier. You've got a piece of your own castle, your own home you've earned and built up in your life, your own families, et cetera, et cetera. So this is where this all comes around. This old establishment order that's infected what we call the deep state. The deep state is infected by their operatives because they're trying to maintain this control. And this is the kind of talk that will get a visit out of the door, because this is the kind of stuff they're terrified that the population will get to become red-pilled and start to realize what's really happening in the world.
You know what
right
I think
now.
is going to help red pill? When Trump talks about Greenland and actually gets a deal from Greenland, the American presence there. So that keeps Russia out. It keeps China out, gets control of Northwest Passage, all that, the Arctic, the region, the minerals, yada, yada, yada. Well, okay. Well, and then, of course, the other center right now that's under focus, Venezuela was big, but this is going to be big. There's going to be a massive
connected, all interconnected.
Holy crap, Secretary Marco Rubio drops the ultimate truth nuke on Cuba. Their communist regime is done for. You can tell Marco has been waiting for this fire. Their economy doesn't work. It's a non-functioning economy. It's an economy that survived. The revolution, not even a revolution, that thing they had relied on, subsidies from the Soviet Union and then Venezuela. They're in a lot of trouble. And the people in charge don't know how to fix it. They have to get new people in charge. Folks, Cuba is next. Let's listen to Marco. Some are calling him the greatest Secretary of State America's ever had. We love Marco. Here we go.
The embargo's codified. But the bottom line is their economy doesn't work. It's a non-functional economy. It's an economy that has survived. That revolution, it's not even a revolution, that thing they have, has survived on subsidies from the Soviet Union and now from Venezuela. They don't get subsidies anymore, so they're in a lot of trouble. And the people in charge, they don't know how to fix it. So they have to get new people in charge. That's what has to happen.
And the relationship we have with Venezuela has been, I think you could almost say, incredible.
The embargo's
I love Trump at the end. So they're seeing the connection, Venezuela, Cuba, and I think it's been incredible. Yep. So there's I love Trumpy Bear, it's very positive. But the thing is, Cuba's done. Marco's telling you they got to get new people. And when they get new people, the new people are going to be shaking hands with the American administration, the Trump administration. What is the future for Cuba? And Trump would even put out a post saying, over on Truth Social. He put a little truth out, and he said, "Yeah, maybe Venezuela will be our 51st state." So I mean, just baiting. This will the left will all freak out again. But again, Blake, it speaks to the control and the plan. It seems to be moving along really nicely. And we had a guy come in here last week complaining about, money's up and all this leftist coming in. So just for pinocchles like that guy and anybody else thinks like him, I've got this thing here. All right, it's official. President Trump reveals the Iran war is about to end. Then prices will plummet. He told the whole world, no apologies. You watch. As soon as the war is over, which will be soon, your prices are going to drop like a rock. This is Trump's prediction. I'm not one to bet against him. Let's hear the president.
They're very happy that I'm getting rid of a nuclear power, a nuclear terrorist. And as soon as that war is over, which will be soon, your prices are going to drop like a rock. You watch. I've been very good at predicting.
Cue Bob Seger there.
Yeah, like a rock. Yeah, the old like a rock tune. So, okay, so prices, Cuba, everything's moving along. To me, it seems like a real plan. The Donroe Doctrine is just kicking ass, taking names, and it's happening. It's freaking happening. For those that say, you black pillars say nothing's happening, it is happening. Yeah, there's lots of battles still ongoing. This ain't over by a long shot. But if we're looking at the arm wrestling right now, Trump's like that. He just needs to slam down. But it's moving. SAVE Act is one of those kill punches that's going to secure midterms. But again, while that's happening, while the midterms, the SAVE Act, a lot of press on that, we're getting revelations that Ukraine was involved in vote. We're looking at the 2020, the Gabby Tulsard moving in, Trump shuffling pieces around the board. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, Cuba is experiencing a power blackout. It's the third day. The whole country has no electricity. Trump said yesterday, they're talking with Cuba. Talks are going well. We currently have formal diplomatic relations with Cuba. You wait for it, Ron. That's going to fall entirely under American influence. Think along the lines of Puerto Rico. Cuba's going to do the same thing. Anyway, anything you want to talk about on that? Expand a little bit more. Cuba and whatever the hell the other thing was I showed. There's so much stuff's going out here. But anyway, go on.
Well, Marco Rubio, I mean, just a quick point. They've been doing brownouts for a long time in Cuba. This isn't something new. I think this is a lot of hyperbole that's being pushed by the left wing or let's say the deep state media, trying to counter the freedom movement around the world that's happening. But this is, again, huge for what's happening in the world. Again, establishing what the real war is. The real war isn't against Iran. The real war wasn't against the Cubans. The real war wasn't against Venezuela. But when you look at the assets and who's involved behind the scenes in a foreign perspective in influencing those areas and putting those control to destabilization of regions is done purposely. This is done intentionally to maintain control and power. And Trump's had his vision of the Donroe Doctrine, especially for the Western Hemisphere, to get those guys out of here. We're done with the wars. We're done with your little tin pot dictators you guys put in. The globalist bankers running out of Europe, you're out. And this is where the battle lines are happening. And Canada, like just to put as a side note, part of this overall story is over in Newfoundland. Of course, we got Hibernia oil project, big oil reserves and being pumped out of the oceans or off the coast of Newfoundland. Well, they just recently signed a deal, and guess who's involved, right? BP, right? When you see BP, that's everybody knows that's
British Petroleum.
And who's running that? Well, that's your UK establishment elite running out of the city of London, anchoring in resources from Canada. Again, further causing difficulty for us to break free from that old world order that still manipulates us. But I think Donald Trump's getting so close to just finally saying, he's at that point of saying, we have our own countries now. We're grown up. We're not your colonies. Those ended. They've never gotten over the American Revolution. Doesn't matter how friendly we were during World War II. Doesn't matter how friendly we were in World War I, and we were all buddies. The point was, they were at war up until literally after the Civil War. The English at that time, the UK, supported the Confederacy. They supported every aspect to break up the Union. And I think I need to understand, historically, this old world order does not want to let go. You think on those levels and you look at what that's happening around the world, it all makes sense now. Everything else doesn't make sense. When you're going after, well, the Ayatollahs are causing all the trouble in Iran, and they're causing trouble around the world, and they're funding Hezbollah, and they're funding this. No. Look who was in control of that area before all that was formed. The same colonial powers, the same people that were manipulating the world to be their hewers of wood and drawers of water, resource extraction colonies. That's what you were. That's how they see you in around the world. There's an elitism. There's a Euro elitism. And I'm saying not within the European people themselves, but within the establishment, not to let go. So Cuba was, again, put in place, caused chaos, funded for problems. Some people are even accusing the whole Soviet Union, when it came into effect, when the Russian Revolution happened into communism, that was funded and managed by those same forces out of London, and to cause the destabilization. Because we remember the Crimean War. There's always been trouble between the European countries and Russia. So fascinating things that I think we may be seeing something new that maybe we've never experienced before in our lifetime, and that we may see a different lineup of allies.
I think so. You're absolutely right. I think you're right.
I mean, we're going to have that North American. I mean, I think Canada's going to fall.
We have to fall, so that we have to.
Those guys got to get thrown out. We got to get the English. I mean, when you've got King Charles meddling now in politics, when the whole idea is that apparently monarchs are supposed to be figureheads only. That is BS. Don't buy that crap that they throw on you. The crown is still firmly in control. That's why they call it the crown. Some people say, well, it's figurehead. It's just for law. No, it's not. If it is not. By law, the crown owns the land they're connected to, which means everybody else is a serf or a leaser of the properties, right? That's kind of what you understand, that they're like the landlord, but you can run your business and live on it and do whatever you want through licenses and permits and stuff like that. So that world order has not changed. You are still a serf on their lands. They still want to manipulate you and allow a certain percentage of you to do well, but they're restricting everybody else. And only certain people are allowed to pay to play in under the crown order or the old world order. Trump's blowing that all up. He's the biggest disruptor. So we've got North, Central, and South America coming into a new union. And I've often thought this, that South and North America should unify against the rest of the world to protect itself from that resource extraction idea that that's all we are. China and Asia, they need to do their own thing as well.
Well, China's lost a lot of influence in South America because of the Venezuela hit.
I think China's still joined at the hip with the UK. I mean, quite frankly, the China has been an ally even when they were communists during World War II against Japan and against the Axis, right? They were.
Yeah.
And so
Chiang Kai-shek.
And the British establishment and its trading establishment was well firmed in Shanghai. I mean, they were treated almost like a trading colony of England for a long time. And you think about the French, like just think, people need to go back and read history. Look how much the European countries had control of the world 150 years ago, not that long ago. Just go look at a world map. The Vietnam War, who was in charge of Vietnam in that area? The French. Right? Who is in charge of the Philippines? You had Spain. You've got So this is the world order that is changing. When Carney's seeing the new world order and all these changes, what Trump's involved in right now is he's with the people who wants America to be free. The only way America is going to be free is to break those people, break their backs, expose them worldwide, destroy their deep state networks, because it's not just the CIA. It's this. In people say, well, it's the CIA, we're doing this, but the CIA are influenced and controlled by those forces. They are experts at manipulating. They have hundreds of years of training on how to manipulate and control countries and kings and dictators and putting who they want in.
Yeah.
This isn't some kind of, and people say, well, it's, that's just conspiracy theory. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This is just world history, folks. World history. And we're in it. And it hasn't changed a lot, but now it is. This is the big outlier. Why do they want Trump gone? Because of that. Why do they want to get rid of the Malay and Argentina, or get rid of what's his name out of Hungary?
Viktor Orban.
Or Viktor Orban. Like, people who are finally saying, we're done with this system. We're finished. African nations have been manipulated and are impoverished because of this colonial system from Europe. That needs to break, and it is breaking. And that's why I think China is kind of doing their own deals now. Russia's kind of like, this is good. We can be part of this. Apparently, I don't know if it was if it had been debunked, but apparently there was a multi-trillion-dollar offer from Russia with the U.S. To try and clean things up worldwide. And I mean, if that's true, that Putin's laid out $1 trillion of deals to open things up between Russia and the United States, I'm sorry, Canada, you're finished. We're finished, because we at best are about $1 trillion annually in trade with the United
Alabama's
States.
got a bigger GDP than us right now.
But just on the trade numbers, $1 trillion in trade with the United States. Yeah. And if Russia's saying, hey, look at all the land we have, look at all the resources we have, we can do a great deal. It's worth 10, 12 trillion. Who guess what, Canada? You just lost your bargaining chip. And so I think that's the problem. Like, this is what the problem we're facing, is that these old world order people don't want to let go. And Cuba's connected. It said Venezuela was connected. The voting machines are all connected by these guys.
Yeah, but we're winning right now. I think we just took their gun away from them. Iran's gun is gone. They aren't anything anymore.
Well, now they're exposed. And I'm saying that same group are exposed, because that's what the trap was. The trap was old world order. You guys have been giving the lip service that Iran is a terrorist organized country managed by a terrorist government regime, funding Hezbollah. But in reality, they're funding it. That's why they don't want to help them. That's why they don't want to send the troops in, because Trump's saying, well, we're blowing it all up. You guys are out. Everybody's going to be trading. Well, guess what this does? This changes everything. Europe is exposed. You are all exposed. You're deadbeat losers living off the rest of the world. You've depleted your own resources, or you've locked them up like North Sea oil. You see Trump, he's talking to the British people. He's talking beyond their elites. He's saying, open up your oil fields. And I don't know why Keir Starmer and all those guys are locking up all your oil. You got all that North Sea oil. And it's done intentionally for power and control and monopolization. That's what those guys represent. And it said Trump's in there with a baseball bat right now, and he's busting it up. And he's the greatest disruptor in an era of disruption technologically.
Yeah, I love my Trumpy bear. Okay, we got a good story coming out of Canada. We've been a lot of good stuff out of Canada. This hilarious one. This shows the power of X. This young Lacey Knight. Hey, why did you shut your comments off? You're taxpayer funded. This is CSIS Canada. This is basically our, what do you call it, Blake? Like our answer to
CIA.
The CIA, NSA. This is our top intel gathering agency in Canada, okay? Use logic on this. I deconstructed this. They're just a bunch of clowns. Today we stand against Islamophobia and all forms of hatred. Everyone deserves to live free from fear. shaking hands. Combat Islamophobia. And there's the little thing, Canada with the little hijab. And then readers added context. This was posted hours after pro-Islamic regime of Iran had marches in Canada featuring chants of Allahu Akbar and death to Jews in America. Jews, not Muslims, are the top target for hate crimes in Canada, even though they're a tiny portion of the population. I rated that as helpful. So get this. So anyway, I deconstruct their little comment here. I go, Islamophobia, quote, literally the fear of Islam. And then their quote, everyone deserves to be free from fear. Do you even hear yourselves? I put that up. I mean, like they make no sense. Everyone deserves to live in fear, free from fear. Well, I'm Islamic phobic. I fear Islam. I should be free from my fear of Islam. Get rid of Islam so I'm not afraid of it anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway, nonsensical. And then I'll just share this one because, hopefully they'll show up. I want to see them. Hopefully. And then we got this one. This is what sparked it as well. Tom Quiglin, if you see something, say something. So these idiots show up in Canada here. Canada Border Services Agency. Taking photo of people in public and falsely claiming they're someone else is dangerous and can lead to severe legal and personal consequences. You have concerns about border activity, you should contact them. Don't show a picture. Yeah, but if you see something, say something. So this guy in the little hat shows up.
And Ayatollah Minor.
I wonder where he came from, right? Where he came from. And then finally, this is the thing. I guess I could go
and
here.
Why would they come to Canada? Again, it's the same situation. It's because that old world order has those guys as part of their deep state global organization.
All right. I got to go here now, Blake.
This is where they come to retire.
Well, it kind of seems that way. Here's the breakdown of Bill C-9. Now, this is pure comedy, this thing, but it reminds me of that thing when Francis is talking to the big toe Sergeant Hulka, and he's going, if I see you, I'll kill you. If you say something about my name, I'll kill you. It's kind of reminds me of that. Anyway, here's our beloved, I love him so much, Mark Carney, breaking down Bill C-9 that he just pushed in Parliament without a democratic debate. Carney and Liberals continue to hijack Canada. Let's hear what he says.
Saying men aren't women, jail. Non-sanctioned journalism, jail. Denying climate change, definitely jail. Criticizing the Liberal government, jail right away. Questioning the 215 grave narrative, jail right now. Spicy memes, jail. Reciting Bible verses, straight to jail. Saying men aren't women, jail. Non-sanctioned journalism.
If you look at me weird, I'll kill you. If you mention call me Francis, I'll kill you. All right, settle down, Francis. Anyway, so there we had CSIS, and CSIS actually had to shut down their account so no one would comment on it because they were getting ratioed to hell. Then they got community noted. The community note basically these things go viral. By the way, the cops showing up at the lady's house in Toronto, that went viral. That's all over the internet today. Everybody's reposting and giving their take on it. So people are aware. The population is aware. The majority of the aware. They stole our elections. Everything got screwed up. These Dominion voting machines, all the rest of it. And thank God for the Trump administration, because it's that administration that's going to reveal to the world how the 2020 election was stolen and how dark money through the Ukraine and other foreign entities were used to influence the election, not against the bad guy Democrats, but actually against the Patriots. Blake, final thoughts.
Well, that's bang on. We're fighting an old world order, desperate to hold on to power. Again, we always point to them, but I suggest everybody subscribe to Promethean Action on X and on YouTube. They post daily. They've been covering this for a long time. They're building up a lot of steam because they've been exposing this connection for a long time. It's now coming to light because it's apparently this is exactly what we're seeing worldwide right now, what this fight is all about. And I think we're getting there slowly. For those of us who are not in the United States, you're moving quickly, which is great. But those of us, like, I'm almost envious when I'm looking at Cuba, because they could be freer than Canada in the next 6 months.
Yeah, because there are situations more desperate. They're that much further ahead in the program. But think about how ours is a short case thing. We've had it good in Canada for many, many years, but the long ride of prosperity is rapidly declining. But we had it great. We were compatible with America. America has something, we got it. You know, you got color TV. I want a color TV. You got a new Tesla. We got a new Tesla. I want the latest model. We got it. We aren't driving 1955 Buick like we're living in Havana. You know, when you go there, they're famous for all the old cars and everything. So America is the key to freedom right now. And I love the pictures of the president when people are praying over him. Christians pray. And, you know, praise God for the Judeo-Christian foundations upon which Canada, America were founded. And it is Judeo-Christian, because Christianity itself says Christ did not come to destroy the law of the prophets. He came to fulfill them. Always remember that. No anti-Semitism.
Well, we have, even within our laws, we have things that point to exactly that fact. You know, debt, right? If you go bankrupt, you're not supposed to be destroyed for the rest of your life. There's the fact that they have a 7 years and then it disappears from your credit is a biblical principle that has been built into even our financial system and our laws. But now they'll change that, I'm sure, because in Canada, apparently you can, you know, especially mortgages and things like that, you could be destroyed.
I don't think there are many Canadians who actually love Carney. It's nobody really loves him in Canada. Everybody knows he's a banker. Even the left knows he's a banker. They just hate Trump. And as long as Carney keeps banging the drum of Trump hatred, they like him. You know, he's okay. But they'd get rid of him in a heartbeat if they could get some pink-haired fella, you know, with newly installed breast stitches. That would be they would love that more.
Well, it's funny when you listen to people that support him or support the whole elbows up and they're anti-Trump. Whenever you talk to them, everything they're saying is just regurgitated CBC propaganda. So you almost feel sorry for them because they don't have an original thought in their minds. They don't research. They don't read. They don't know their own history.
A lot of it is our not Blake's, but really my generation, the Boomer Brigade. And I got to tell you, we're dying off. And because we're dying off, the CBC, which depends upon old stock Canadian, because the newcomers don't understand it because they aren't
give a shit.
Here's our Farsi language special. Yeah, we're the ones that had the property. We're the ones that had it good. That had a nice life, free from harm, free from trouble. Now those days are all gone, especially if you're in Toronto with enjoying the fruits of multiculturalism, where more break-ins are happening. There's another just made news. Came in, gunshots fired, you're living your life at home, and somebody decides to visit you, presumably a newcomer. Anyway, I want to thank Blake, as always, for being here. Folks, we're going to be back Friday. Maybe Cuba will be under American control by Friday. Who the hell knows? Things are moving.
That's right.
And the president is already saying the Iraq war, the Iran war, the war in Iran is going to be over soon. And so much has been accomplished there. They've basically decapitated the beast already. We're just going to see. And then, of course, there's the fallout of the gay Ayatollah. Apparently, Ayatollah is gay. Or so, not there's anything wrong with that. But it apparently is. And we pray for his safety in case somebody throws him off a roof over there. We don't want that to happen. Our friend, gay fellow, LGBTQ. Okay, everybody, that'll do it for me. Like, we love it. Peace and love. I'm going to be back later today on my other channel called Ghost 2. There it is, right back there, Ghost 2. And so you can tune in. We talk about music and stuff, but it can be funny. You never know what's going to happen. All right, everybody. Bye for now. We'll see you Friday. Love you, Blake. Thank you. Boom.